This video is for you if you feel that you are in the intermediate level because you understand most of the things that you hear and that you read, but feel that you're not progressing anymore. Today I'm here to explain why this happened and also to help you to break out of the cycle and to finally reach the level C1 in English. Hello friends, welcome to your Christian Productivity channel. I am Luciana Sampaio. Level B1 is the one that you can understand quite a lot of the things that you hear and the things that you read, as I said to you before. So you know the basics of conversation, and you also can watch movies or videos in English with some easy. But when we are in this level of our English, we can have the false idea that we have a good English, that we already know enough. And this is pretty bad because we stop trying to look for strategies that can help us to grow even more. So the problem over here is that students stop progressing because they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and this is pretty bad because sometimes you repeat study habits that are no longer useful. This is why you feel that you are stuck in the beginner level or in the intermediate level. This is why you can't speak with anyone, because you are repeating some habits that you had before and helped you to develop this English that you have today. But to grow even more and to try to develop your speaking, for instance, you need to try to use different things. For example, when I was younger, I got stuck in this level and I couldn't see exactly what to do to get out of it. Since I am pretty young, I have been practicing my listening, so my listening skills are really good. I always watched a lot of contents in English, and this helped me to develop my listening. So my listening is really good. Many years ago, I could understand most of the content that I watched in English, and not only that, but I also was able to read mentally everything in English. I could understand almost everything. But the problem was that I couldn't express myself in that language, and that made me so frustrated. Something that I remember as well is that my pronunciation was so bad, so I used to basically switch between American English and British English. It was pretty bad. But everything changed when I decided to really start doing something different. When I really commit myself in not only practicing my listening, but also dedicating myself in my speaking and my reading, I was able to develop myself in this language. That's exactly when I started talking, and even though I had a lot of difficulties, I persisted until I become fluent. So note that one of the things that helped me transition from level B1 to C1 was to analyze myself and see what I was doing wrong. And when I changed it, when I decided to change the course, everything changed as well. I saw that I already worked on my listening, so if I started working in other areas, this could help me. That's what I thought. So understand this. In this video, I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to give you a lot of tips, but this is the most important thing of this video, okay? The thing is that you need to stop and analyze yourself. You need to understand what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing that it's getting in my way to really transition from level B1 or whatever level that you are to the level that I really want to reach. You need to understand, and you need to stop and think, because no one is going to tell you what is happening. You need to do this. You need to understand what is happening. If you don't stop and analyze yourself, there's no point in keep watching this video, because there's no way that I can help you. Of course, in this video, I'm going to give you a few reasons that may be affecting you in developing yourself in this language, but I don't have the solution in here. You need to understand that you need to look for the solution, because I don't know you. I don't know how you study. I don't know how many years you are studying, the strategies that you use. So if I don't have a contact with you personally, there's no way that I can help you. There's no way that I can understand what is affecting you so much. So please, stop and analyze what you're doing wrong and try to change this. Now I will mention other reasons that may be hindering you. Uma pausa aqui no vídeo rapidinho para que eu te fale sobre a Black Friday do nosso canal. Essa Black está acontecendo nesse mês de novembro e dezembro de 2025 e nela eu estou concedendo 50% de desconto no meu mini curso, que é composto por 4 aulas. Nessas aulas eu te apresento os treinos para que você se torne fluente de forma autodidata. Então basicamente você consegue ter acesso a aulas em que eu passo os treinos que você precisa para que consiga realmente começar a falar inglês a partir do primeiro dia e a partir de 15 minutos por dia. Quando você acessar o primeiro link da descrição, é só você colocar o cupom GOL50, então o preço do curso vai sair de R$ 49,99 para R$ 24,99. E o bom é que o acesso a esse curso é vitalício. Portanto, a partir do momento que eu colocar mais aulas, você vai continuar tendo acesso para melhorar o seu inglês cada vez mais. Aproveite agora, porque essa promoção vai até o dia 31 de dezembro. Eu tenho certeza que ela pode transformar a forma que você tem estudado inglês. I will only speak when I am 100% ready. I can't even tell you how many people I had contact that tell me this. So they say things like, I can't. In my first English class, there's no way that I'm gonna start talking in English. There's no way. But understand that the truth is, you will never be ready. This thought is one of the biggest obstacles because people think that they need to know everything to start speaking, but this is so crazy. Fluency comes from imperfect practice, not from waiting for perfection. You need to start today. You need to start right now, because if you don't start, of course that you're not gonna develop your speaking. Of course that you're not gonna be able to speak. The second thing that people always say is that my English isn't good enough. And when you think things like this, you have fear of making mistakes. And when you are so scared of speaking, of course that when there is a speaking situation, you're not gonna even try. You're not gonna be ready. Of course that you're gonna think this, oh, I'm not ready, I don't know how to do this, and you're not even gonna try. And this is a big problem as well. It's precisely by making mistakes and correcting them that you evolve. So please put this aside and try to understand that you're never gonna have English that is enough. You're never gonna have a perfect English. You're just gonna have to start practicing. And the third thing that people always say is that I need to study more grammar before I try to speak. This belief keeps students stuck in their books, but grammar without practical application does not lead to fluency. For instance, I have a student that for many years decided to learn English in the traditional way. So she went to school and she always tells me that in class there is a big problem, because teachers almost don't talk with their students. They only say, okay, you can make that book exercise and that's great, that's good for you. They ask one thing and when the student reply, that's it, because they need to attend the other students. And this is so crazy because there's not the opportunity to try to speak, to try to have a conversation. There's only one answer and that's it. Of course that you need to study. Of course that you need to apply yourself and to dedicate yourself basically in grammar. Of course that this is really relevant. But if you only do this, if you only dedicate yourself into making book exercises, this is not gonna be enough. This is not gonna be good. So try to keep all these things aside. Try to change your mindset. These beliefs create a cycle. The more fear, the less practice. The less practice, the more fear. If you think, okay, I don't understand why I am so scared of speaking English. Maybe it's because you are keeping all these things in your mind and you need to get them out to really learn. Usually when you talk about level B1, level C1, or even A1, people think that the difference between those levels are that, you know, in level A1, you know 100 words, in level B1, you know 1,000 words, and in level C1, you know a lot of words. I don't know. There's a lot of people that thinks like this, and they understand that you can reach other level when you know a lot of words. But there is other ways to understand if you are really reaching the level C1. And I'm gonna say the reasons right now. Students that are in the level C1 can think in English without translating. So this is really important, because if you can't think in English, you're gonna translate it every single word. You're gonna translate it everything, and you're not gonna be able to keep a conversation. And when you are in the level C1, you are able to speak, even though you commit errors, of course, because this happens with everyone. But it's really, really important for you to be able to think in English. The second thing is that students that are in the level C1 can speak naturally and confidently despite making mistakes. And other characteristics characteristic of people that are in this level is that they can understand different accents and cultural context. This is really relevant because if you have an English that you can speak with other person, if you have English that you can understand them, but you only understand a certain accent, this is a problem because if you go to other country, for instance, if you know how to speak and you can understand the American accent and you go, I don't know, to India to work there and you can't understand their accent, this means that you're probably not in the C1 level because people that are in C1 level can understand different accents. And of course that right now you are thinking, okay, I am not in this level. How can I reach it? So there's a lot of strategies to reach this level and I'm going to talk about them right now. Practice speaking intentionally. You don't need to wait to find someone that already know how to speak English so that this person can help you with practicing because you can do this by yourself. You can do this alone. I need to be honest with you. I didn't reach the level that I have today just because I had conversation classes with a teacher, with a tutor or whatever. I decided to practice on my own and that's helped me so much to learn. So stop thinking that you need someone else to practice with. You can do this alone. You can do this by yourself. And if you're thinking, how can I do this? Well, you can watch this video that explain how did I develop my speaking without having anyone to practice with, okay? The second thing that you can do is to stimulate thinking in English. And the best way to do this is start narrating your day mentally in English or describe what you're doing. There's other exercise that I would like to add in my classes, that is to show an image to the student and they need to say all the things and describe what is happening in the image or in the video because this helps to start thinking in English. This simple practice helps your brain associate ideas directly with English without relying on translation. The third thing that you need to do is to increase your contact with real language. Try to watch native content, series, vlogs, interviews, and observe how people really speak with natural expressions and contractions. I need to talk about this because there is many people that learn English by reading, for example, but when they have contact with native speakers, it's really hard because they use a lot of contractions. So they sum up the words, they sum up the sentences, and this is pretty hard to understand if you don't have contact with natural English. So please watch content that are from real person. You need to start following someone on YouTube, for example, and you need to watch this content to understand all the things that native speakers says in their daily basis. The fourth tip is that you need to produce more in English. The best way to do this is to write notes in English. You can have a diary as well. And not only that, it's pretty important for you to try to turn those texts into a speech. This helps you build sentences with more fluency and confidence. If you are stuck in the B1 level, it's not because you lack ability. Maybe it's because you need to change the strategy and you need to start studying in a different way. That was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I see you in the next one and remember, you are loved. Bye!